Hello everyone, my name is Mirna. On behalf of the Mindalia TV team, I welcome you to Mindalia live streaming, where thousands of people around the world gather to see the lectures and interviews organized by Mindalia TV. Today with us, Angel Rebo, CEO, consultant, TV host, international public speaker, and president of the Wisdom for Kids Foundation, is going to be interviewing Joe Gelber. He is a data engineer and a sustainability enthusiast. They are going to be talking today about where spirituality meets sustainability. Before starting with them, I want to remind you that Mindalia is a nonprofit organization. Our mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness around the world, and you can help us. Subscribing to our channel, leaving us a positive comment down this video, or sharing it with someone that you know that is going to benefit from the content that we are going to be talking here today. Also, we are live streaming right now. And while we are live streaming, we have the active chat, the screen that you're going to be seeing here on my side. And through there, you can enter your questions and you can interact with us. Last but not least, we want you to visit us, subscribe, and find out what we are going to be doing and what we are doing in Mindalia Televisao in Portuguese, Mindalia Televisión in Spanish, and of course, Mindalia TV English. Visit our Facebook page, follow our Instagram, and also collaborate with us. We want you to collaborate with us with your own valuable content. For that, you just have to go to our website. On the top, you're going to find the link. It says Collaborate with Mindalia. That link is going to take you to a form that you can fill out, and our technical team will be getting in contact with you. I'm going to be leaving you with these two gentlemen. Gentlemen, welcome to Mindalia live streaming. The screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Mirna, for the introduction, and welcome to Mindalia TV. Joe, how are you?
Good, good.
Excellent. We love to talk about sustainability on Mindalia TV, and we also love to be in contact with youth. So thank you very much for being with us.
I appreciate being here.
Really, absolutely. So, I was a little bit daring when I was talking with Joe, and I said, okay, so why don't we title this chat like, where spirituality meets sustainability? Because you are someone that really believes in both things, right?
Yes.
So what would you say why is sustainability so important today?
I think it goes hand in hand with having the earth be as clean and fresh as possible so that you can be as clean and fresh as possible. Things like pollution and other areas negatively affect the body. So if they're in alignment where you're keeping the earth healthy, you will then also be healthy. So that's kind of the connection between the two.
Are we integrated with planet Earth, Joe?
I think some people are. I don't think as a whole we are. But we're working to create things that will make life more integrated with Earth, with the sustainability and doing things better for the human race and everything else.
You're working as a data analyst, is that correct?
Yes.
So you're a very kind of detail-oriented, maybe?
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yes.
So what should we do to be more detail-oriented on what our planet is going through?
I think that people see the challenge in front of them and get very scared, say it's too big of a challenge to actually conquer. So I always say start with yourself and start doing the things that are known as being good for the planet, such things as recycling and composting and things like that. I have a lot of friends who aren't into sustainability at all, but they see the way I go about doing things and they say, oh, this isn't that hard, I can do this too, and start creating more of a chain reaction and people actually doing things that are better for the earth.
Would you say that in general youth today is conscious about what the planet is going through?
I think the youth is more conscious. I wouldn't say it's completely conscious. Everybody has their own opinions on what matters and what, and you can kind of see that in the United States, the difference between the West Coast and the East Coast with their sustainability programs and things like that. But I definitely think the youth is more conscious of it and are making more of an effort to say, hey, we're living here. We want to leave this planet better than where we came in.
Do you think that when you mention friends, probably some of them are in college, some others are working, maybe some are entrepreneurs. So Would you say that entrepreneurs today, they take sustainability seriously enough?
I do think so. You look at companies like WeWork, and they've just gone vegetarian, vegan. They kind of cut that stuff out. So I think it actually is a very trending thing with entrepreneurs. I also see that a lot of the tech startups are coming out of that San Francisco's area. So that it's very big on the West Coast. So I think that's spreading throughout the country as entrepreneurship becomes bigger in places like where I'm from, New York City, and things like that. So yes, I do.
And we also mentioned spirituality when we were introducing you, and we are, during this weekend on a very highly spiritually charged experience, all of us. What would you say you were looking for before you decided to come here?
So I don't know if I was looking for anything in particular. I think that the spiritual journey, as you said, it's a journey. So you're really just trying to progress and kind of get over those fears that are holding you back from progressing. So I think that's why I came here, is to keep moving up on the ladder, and kind of, I came in without expectations, and you kind of just see where you end up landing at the end of the week.
When did you start that journey? Is that a particular point that you remember in your life that made you start it?
Yes, I do. So I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 15, and that's kind of when I started my journey. It wasn't really that I got into it at that time. I was more just aware. My father, he is very into spirituality, and he's the one who kind of showed me the ropes of, hey, this is, it can help you out. And so I started then, and kind of was still, I wasn't really into it. And I think really after I went to undergraduate, kind of after I started working, I really started to, okay, let's start doing this a little more and start looking into this and seeing how you're feeling and reacting and things like that. So,
as a young man, when you were diagnosed with the diabetes, how did you feel? What were your feelings?
Sadness.
Sadness?
Yeah, I think it's it's interconnected with my self-love. I don't want to say issue, but I have and I'm not fully aware of self-love, and I think it was interconnected with the two. So this was just kind of another notch on my, this is another thing I can kind of throw on I don't like myself. And so, but I actually think it was a blessing in disguise, because it was one of those things where you kind of got to get hit so far down that, okay, this is really, you got to deal with this. And eventually, once I got over that and I started dealing with it, you start feeling a lot better about yourself, and you kind of start approaching life in a different way, and you feel much better about the whole situation.
I'm really inspired by your bravery and for sharing something which is so private to you that you just shared with us. I myself have a son at college age, so I don't see himself easily or his friends openly saying something as you said before. Do you think that in general young men are willing to open themselves and confess, let's say, that they would like to love themselves more?
I don't think so. I don't have many people I know of my age really going through that kind of same journey. But I think if you find the right people, yes, absolutely. It's just you got to find the right people, and in the consensus, it's not as, at least in my age, it's not as much of a consensus. But you can always find people that are willing to share and really willing to kind of show how they're feeling.
Have you always been so brave?
No. I would say at the time I was 15, I got my diagnosis. I had probably a good 2-3 years where I was shut off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just
completely.
Yeah, the feelings were not. I was angry. I was, all this kind of stuff. And as I said, once I started to say, hey, this isn't gonna work out, I can't go the rest of life like this. That's when you start opening up and you start realizing how powerful that can be. So I think that's why I'm on my journey. I'm getting more and more open and aware about these kind of things.
When you shut down, what was the reaction of your more close environment, like your relatives?
I think they understood why but I don't know if they knew the extent because I was so shut down. But you'd have to talk to them. I don't know their reactions, but I know that I hid a lot. And I think, as I said, that's where I got that. I have to stop doing this. I have to really start, working to come up with a better solution. So I think that's kind of, and I don't know if they've noticed a change. Again, you'd have to ask them, but I definitely know a change, and I definitely know they didn't know as much what was going on with me as they could have.
I'm asking Joe these questions because, here in the US, diabetes is definitely among youth is an issue, is a real issue. Schools, I have young kids in school, and schools report year after year that the age in which kids are diagnosed with diabetes is going down and down and down. So, that's why I appreciate so much your comments and sharing your experience, because we're sure that there's plenty of young men and kids out there that are shutting down as we speak, and they're facing these and similar issues. So I appreciate that very much.
Of course, and I would say to them that it's people are very willing to help. You just have to look for it, and I think that's the start of, okay, I can get my life back together, because even though you have something that they say is debilitating, is you can't live a normal life, you can, and it can even be better. So I would say definitely reach out, and definitely don't hold back what you have.
Were you going to school at that time?
So I was in high school at the time.
You were in high school?
Yes.
Is high school something that they could be doing, they're not doing, for kids that might be diagnosed with some medical condition?
I think that having someone to talk to is always important, and I know that outlet wasn't necessarily, they had the doctor that you could talk to, but in terms of like a person that you could really speak and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, a lot of the doctors, they don't have it, so they understand because they hear about it, but they haven't experienced it. And I think that is something that you can really, hey, let's make an outreach program, because there's plenty of people that I know, and I'm always willing to give my help to, hey, if you're going through this, I probably went through the exact same thing, like, talk to me and I'll know exactly. I did a mentorship program when I was in Michigan. I did a mentorship program for someone who was going through it, really just working with them and really trying to get them over that hump of, hey, we can share and you can live your life like normal.
That's outstanding. Would you mind sharing your contact information? If someone wanted to reach out to you and wanted to ask you questions and wanted to know what to do in case they're suffering from any condition.
Absolutely. I'll give you my email. My email is jegelber@gmail.com. And then you can also find me on LinkedIn at Joseph Gelber.
Excellent. We are here, during these 4 days here in Utah, and we are having a spiritual experience. We are with Casey and Brad Wallace, and we are on a workshop, and we're making some progress. We're having some spiritual experiences here all together. How have you lived it? How have you lived the first day and a half so far?
So this is my second time doing the art factoring experience, and I think it was kind of, at first I came in a little skeptical when I first did it, and by the end of the first experience, it's like, wow, this is so powerful. So I didn't come in with that same skepticism the second time, and it's just been an amazing experience. There's a lot more people here than were here the first time that I did the program, but the energy here is just amazing, and you just really feel shifts and changes going on with your body, and I'm more in tune with that, which is amazing. It's a great feeling.
And is there something that you can do in between spiritual experiences? Not everybody, not every time we can go and take 3-4 days off.
Yes.
So again, on our daily life, is there something that you do or that you would recommend, young men to do?
So one of the things that I still am working on is those feelings. I don't always express them, and that's very, very important. So this was actually a recommendation from Julius, is that I sit 4 times a day and just stop whatever you're doing, take a deep breath in, and feel how you are. And that'll give you clues on what you need to do next. So it's really being in tune with your body and saying, okay, what does my body really need? What am I moving forward towards? And it can kind of, you can see, okay, you know, I'm frustrated. Why am I frustrated with this? And then you kind of work through, and then, okay, I don't need to be frustrated with this, and you release it. So it's very helpful. I would say that's, you know, you can do that anywhere. I set 4 alarms on my phone and it goes off, and maybe I can't do it exactly at that time, but as soon as I can, I sit, do it, and then I kind of feel how I'm feeling and move on from there.
Have you felt a difference in your life by doing that?
Yes, I think one of the things that it's taught me to do is focus on that judgment piece, because when you're frustrated at something, you're not seeing it from a different point of view, and then you can realize, oh, I'm judging this. You know, I should more be understanding of what's going on in the situation, and then that helps release that kind of feeling for it that you're having at the time. So I'm still working on it. I'm not going to say I'm perfect at it, but I definitely see it's helped. Yes.
What would you say? I mean, you mentioned your dad, and I probably your dad has played an important role in your life.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to the youth that even if they have never had to face a medical condition or any, you know, challenging circumstances in their lives, if they wanted to explore some spiritual, you know, facet in their life, what would be a good way to start it?
I really think it starts with what you're comfortable with. That's always the most important thing, because you're not going to do something that you're not comfortable with. As I said, when I was introduced to this stuff when I was 15, and I was not ready for it. So I think reaching out, seeing, you know, you have the internet, you can see kind of what's out there. You can see, join. I don't know if you have meetups in there are plenty of places that you can kind of start introducing, getting your feet wet, and then seeing what works for you. I think that's the most important thing, is what you're comfortable with.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing so much today with us.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Absolutely. So again, this is Angel Ribo with Mindalia TV. Thank you very much for being with us today, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.